Hello, welcome to Edu Solution with Aaron Ikpe. This program is designed to bring you information and also update you on educational administrative strategies, updates in educational sector. It is also designed to also help us, understand perspectives and opinions and views regarding educational strategies, educational updates, events, and trends. And today we have a special program. Today's program is actually designed to enlighten us on a special topic, which is creating a healthy home atmosphere for learning. Joining me today is a coach and also an author, a parent coach, in the person of Vivian Annie. She'll be discussing this particular topic, and as we'll continue, I'm sure we're going to be excited, and we're going to learn a lot of things as we progress in this particular episode. You're very welcome, Ms. Vivian Annie.
Thank you so much.
Yes, my pleasure to have you on this show.
Thank you.
Yes, welcome. You're a parent, right? Let's establish that.
Yes, I am.
All right, good. And then I had to ask that because of the program we're actually discussing today. As a coach, as a parent, and also a parent coach, and also an author, I'm sure Vivian has a lot she's going to offer us on this particular episode. Now the question is, what is the right environment for a healthy environment? First of all, like we said, creating a healthy environment at home for children. So what do we say a healthy environment is?
Yeah, like you said,
yes,
the home is the first place of learning.
Exactly.
And making it healthy means helping the children, or enabling the children, or empowering the children in that particular environment.
Beautiful.
Now, what many parents do not understand is that the home is the first place of learning.
Exactly.
And if you don't stimulate your home for the children to be empowered to be able to learn,
yes,
you will totally miss it.
Beautiful.
Because what we look at, and many times what parents do, is to think that the school or the religious places are the places where the children will be taught this, taught that, and all of that.
Exactly.
And that's where the struggle begins.
Okay.
Because it all starts from the home.
All right. We'll actually get that far. Like you rightly said, a lot of people think the responsibility of molding the society lies on the religious body, the teachers, and all of that. And you see, by doing that, they neglect their role. I'm glad you said that the home is the first contact point of learning, and therefore the atmosphere of the home must be in a particular way to encourage learning.
Yeah.
So now we understand that the home, or the family, the home comprises of the family.
For sure.
Yes, so we have the father, the mothers, and the children, and all the, maybe possibly there are kids who stay with guardians. So now, how do we create that enabling environment, for learning to take place in the home? I know learning can either be negative or positive, but how do we create a healthy environment for learning to take place?
Now, for the home to become an empowering place for the child, it starts from your relationship with the children.
Relationship.
Yes.
Beautiful.
What many parents do not understand is that no matter what you do to be able to enforce learning, learning is something that it could be gotten consciously or unconsciously.
Exactly.
So the children are watching you, intentionally watching you when you're doing a particular thing, and even when you do not know.
Yes.
And that's why I said intentional.
Intentional.
Because you must be in the place where you are deliberately doing things. Because the children are learning.
Okay.
They are learning from what they see, they're learning from what they hear, they're learning from everything. Structured and unstructured learning is ongoing.
Wow.
So whether you know it or not, the children are
consistently learning. Wow.
So it starts from you having a relationship with the children. It is more likely a thing for a child to listen to you if you have a relationship with the child. Now, relationship does not mean you come and lie down so that the child will just, run around you. But you have to, as the parent, come down to the level of the children. To be able to, get them listen to what you want to say. For instance, children wants you to be available for them many times. Yes, many times, not only the emotional, but to be physically available. And you hear children say things like, you don't want to play with me, or daddy doesn't play with me, or mommy doesn't want to play. That's their priority. We are the ones who look at it like, I don't have time. Come and play with you for what? Take your playing things.
Exactly.
They want you to come to that level where they can
relate. Okay, that's so beautiful, especially with the cosmopolitan challenges where people think they need to go to work, they need to make monies, and they feel, okay, once I make the money and I can provide for the children, okay, I think that's all that matters. I think with that, it's going to like create a kind of mindset, like you rightly say, relationship is key. So now, like you said, the word intentional, that got me thinking, how do you become intentional in your approach? What are those things you display to actually show that you are an intentional parent? Because that intentionality matters, so that things just happen by happenstance. So I don't know if you can guide us briefly on that.
Okay, yes. Being intentional means that you are consistently and constantly learning on strategies, provision of tools that will help you, get the right thing to do per time, and acquiring knowledge consistently, because whether you know it or not, these children are many times even smarter than us. They just want to outsmart you, and thinking that you don't know or you don't understand what they're trying to say. But if you put yourself as a guide, that's when things can fall in. Now, you get into a home, for instance, a busy parent who have just gone to work and got down to the home, and you just start feeling cranky and agitated. Why is this one not there? Why is this? Why is that? And quarreling, and everywhere is chaotic. The children get, either run into their shell and begin to murmur, mommy is this, mommy is that, and all of that. That keeps separating you from the children. Now, but you get into the home, for instance, someone who is intentional will come in, no matter how tired, no matter how, what the next thing you need to do is, no matter what it is, they are not as important as those children. You drop the bag. Someone like me gets into the home now, my bag is on the ground, and I will fall to the ground where everybody will jump at me, and I'm asking, how was your day? This what happened when I wasn't around, and all of that. And you see the children, everybody wants to tell you
what happened,
the story, everybody wants to talk, everybody wants, and in fact, sometimes you may not be listening to this one, this one is saying, oh, you're not listening to me, and all that. When you use that, atmosphere to bring them together, 5-10 minutes, that's what makes it intentional. It's not that you're going to stay the whole day. In 5-10 minutes you're done, and then you tell the children, okay, it's time to get into the kitchen, everybody, let's go and make meal and all of that. Everybody will be somehow popped up to follow the instructions given.
That means the kids actually need your 100% attention in the home. That means once you come to the house, you're expected to drop all that there is that has, the excesses, all within the office or wherever you're coming from, and give them the attention, 100% attention.
100%. In my home, for instance, there are hours. Within those hours, our phones, my husband and I, are kept on the dining, kept anywhere, like no phones. Those hours are no phone hours. Because we want the children to have 100% attention, and then by the time they get back to sleep at 8 p.m., we get back to whatever we
That means what you're saying is that in the home there's need for us to structure time.
Structure is the first
you
thing.
Structure a time for
you
structure time for everything. You structure what to say. You also structure from what you've just said. I think that means as an intentional parent, you must have something you are actually looking out for.
Yes.
In your children.
Yes.
Some attributes.
Yes.
Some behavior. Can we have some of these positive behavior or some of the expectations, parents have for their kids,
Okay. The foundation for it all is laying family values and your family vision to bear.
Family values?
Family values.
Family
yes.
vision. Wow.
That's the first place to start. You can't start, many times we take our journey in parenting from the top.
Okay.
And we leave the root cause. We leave the foundation. And then we just want to hover around everything. This one happens, you respond.
You react to it, yes, impulsively.
So it depends on your notion at that time, or your state of mind at that time. You just react to things. But if you had laid structures, laid the foundations of how things should run, that gives you, or rather that guides you on how to attend to every issue. For instance, a family that have their family value crafted, sometimes, because when children are quite young, they may not really internalize many of the things you're saying.
Yes.
But a pictorial expression helps them to craft many things, and then you come to your children from that angle. Okay. We represent this. We are this. Your name is this. It means this.
Yes.
And then when a child, does something outside the value set, the question you have for the child is, this is what
this align to the values that we've set?
Good. And that's where structure also comes in.
And I think accountability also comes in there.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
That's how everybody gets to, become part of the system. Because this journey is not for the children. It's actually for you. So you, the parents, you're the one taking the lead. You're the one guiding them. So wherever your leading is going, that's where. But then you must have to be that leader that is the student of the children.
Yeah, like you rightly say, these children rather learn from the things they see.
Yeah.
Like you rightly say, consciously, unconsciously. Yeah. So as a leader, you're expected to lead. All right, in this conversation, I think this is a very right conversation, considering what is happening within our society today, considering the cosmopolitan challenges around us, where people want to just make the money, wake up early in the morning and run for, to make a living. But then it is important for us to actually pay attention and be intentional. We'll be right back on this discussion. We'll take a little break, and when we're back, we will continue from this point. Just stay with us.
TSTV, connecting your world.
All right, thank you for staying with us. Here with Mrs. Vivian Annie, coach and also an author. She's been enlightening us on the right atmosphere, the right attitude of parents in creating a learning environment. All right, once again, you're welcome to this program. Now, let's take it a little further from here. Now, there are children who sometimes seems to be rebellious. They're try to not grasp, or how do I put it, some of the values you want to inculcate. Like we earlier on stated that you need to lay a foundation, lay the vision clear, and then start up from there. Now, there are children who would not want to follow some of those rules, and sometimes it could be chaotic, it could be challenging. So what are those measures do you think we can adopt, or those disciplinary measures, or the extent of discipline we need to take to to ensure that these rules are followed, and such that the atmosphere is not too chaotic for, you know, for learning.
Yeah, let me start by saying that discipline does not have one straight road.
Okay.
It's not something you just come out and say, this is the way to discipline children, and it stands like that.
Just sorry, not just like our parents, you know, they boxed us to one format of discipline. Almost everybody, you just know that this is the route, this is the rule. Yes.
What that cause? That's the major cause of rebellion.
Yes. Okay.
That's the major cause of rebellion. Now, why that is like that is, children, or rather, whoever that wants to influence the next person.
Okay.
And now in this scenario, we're talking about parent-child relationship.
Exactly.
If you want to be an influence on your child, positively especially, then it must come from respect.
Okay.
It must come from trust. If a child does not trust you, he won't, she won't ever respect you or whatever opinion you have.
Exactly.
Many times what happens is that we impose this thing on the children out of control. See, nobody can control any human being, no matter how little the child is. If you notice, you have your toddler, maybe even less than 1 year, and you want to take something from them, they are refusing.
No, they rebel.
They are not talking yet.
Yes.
They can't do anything
It's
yet.
natural.
It's natural.
Wow.
So, what God gave us dominion, even in the scripture, is not dominion over other humans.
Yes, it's exactly.
It's dominion over
the earth.
Other creatures that God has.
Exactly.
So it's not over any human. And the earlier we understand this in parenting, the better for us.
Wow.
The cause of rebellion is control.
We want to control, excessive control of the children.
Excessive control. And then the child is showing you signals of, I don't understand what you want to do. I don't want it this way. Can we talk about it? And you are looking at it as, you're the child, I'm the parent, you shouldn't question what I did, this and that, and all of those things. You are breeding rebellion.
Wow. Wow.
That's where it comes.
Wow.
So, discipline comes from, and for the emphasis, discipline means teaching.
Yes.
From what we know.
Yes.
The Latin word disciplinare.
Okay.
And teaching specifically means that your both in your action and in your words, what your child is speaking is influencing and shaping that child, you know, in that area where you want the child to be.
Go, yes.
Now, coming to discipline proper, you cannot, there are things to consider for you to be able to discipline a child effectively.
Okay.
I have 4 children, for instance.
Beautiful.
And no one of them do I use the same disciplinary method.
Okay. Depending on their personality.
I realize
yes.
that these children are all different. They don't respond to issues the same way.
Yes.
They don't have the same temperament, just like myself. They don't have the same personality. They don't have the same learning style. In fact, for a child to actually learn what you're trying to teach him or her, you should also understand how the child learns. Understanding how the child learns, very key. Because the children are different. Their disposition, everything is different. Yes. How do you want the child to learn what exactly? Sometimes we make mistake to box the children to our style of learning. We want them. Why won't you learn like this one? Then sometimes we start comparing them. Comparison also breed rebellion as well. Yes. Wow. That's where the problem is. You know. So if you don't sit down to understand, child A is like this. Child A doesn't do this, do this. Yes. How do I go about child A? And then child B, who would not do this, you know. How do I approach child B? If you don't understand and devise means to how everyone responds to the same instruction given. For instance, you have a structure in your home where everyone does a particular thing at a particular time. Yes. Now, you have, for instance, I have 3 boys. Okay. And you know, boys and football. Yes. They like always football. Their kind of sports is usually different. It's something that I know that they love so much. And so one of the instructions is, football comes after your chores, after assignments, your chores and this and that. So I think that should be around 5 to 6 or thereabouts. And so they already know that if they did not do this before,
they'll get the reward of
the
playing.
football is cancelled. So nobody tells you that. That's discipline.
Okay.
Because when people say, you leave children, I don't understand what parents, especially parents of our time,
of our time, yes.
Being permissive is not discipline.
It's not.
It's not discipline. So if in fact, people who know me know that I'm big, very big on discipline.
Okay.
And what do I call discipline? Ability to structure someone's life. We are meant to be here by 1, and we are here by 1.
Yes.
Because we were able to come in before 1, to sit down here before. That's discipline.
Yes.
So ability to structure your life, to be able to attend to issues as they come.
Exactly.
Because if you're not structured, you'll be everywhere.
You'll be everywhere. You won't have a direction.
Does this, you react
no
based on your emotional state at the time.
At that time. So sometimes that gives us, helps us, that time, let me say, sometimes that pushes us to transfer aggression.
Exactly.
Because we react based on
your emotions
what is happening, like based on a phone call you just received, based on your boss had made you angry at work.
The issue you have already
or the issue you have maybe with your partner and all of that.
That's why I said the structure. Now, one of the ways to structure yourself, or the foundation of structuring yourself as a parent, is emotions control. You cannot discipline any child effectively if you are not constantly working on your emotions.
I think that's the point we really need to reiterate. Because you see, parents would want to, lash out their emotions because the child is not responding the way you want, or because it's not saying or it's not meeting up with your expectations, or maybe sometimes we even compare the kids with themselves, or we compare them with someone's kids that we've seen outside, and then because of that the emotions are all out. So I think we really need to talk, how do we balance that emotions, those excessive emotions, to create that right environment within the home?
Now, it all boils down to learning. Anybody, especially in today's world, who keeps saying, I will raise my children the way I was raised, you're going to make a mess of your own life and the children. I'm going to do things the way it has always been done. You're going to make a mess. If you are not someone who is constantly learning, who is constantly seeking solutions, reading books, trying to learn concepts,
strategies and concepts,
not just flying informations here and there. Learning concepts and applying them according to who your children or who the person you're raising is.
That means as a parent you have also to be learning, that is being teachable, being open-minded. Asking questions and interacting. Yes.
People feel I'm the parent.
I can do whatever I want to. I know how I want.
My child.
It's my child. I can.
And then if you talk so much, they will say we were raised well. We turned out well. You know that popular saying?
Yes, exactly.
We turned out well.
Wow.
We turned out well, and we are all seeing the ripple effect of turning out well. Yes. Whatever turning out well means, anyway. So on step 2, we start to redefine what turning out well means. I'm yet to understand what that means.
Yes, we really okay. That's very intriguing and interesting to learn. Now that means as a parent, as an intentional parent, what you're saying here is that we have to be intentional. We have to be open. Yes, with our emotions.
Learn on how to control your emotions every day.
Every day.
I am a parent coach, but I don't just stop at being a parent coach. Emotions control, emotional intelligence is one course that I enroll every year because things are evolving.
They are evolving.
Every year.
And I think that also helps students, children, to also learn emotional control.
You are their
you're a role model, because if you're from a home where your parents are gentle, they approach things from a logical point of view, you discover that you grow having that approach too in life, having that disposition too in life.
And then if you came from a home where it's always chaotic, you jump out at every issue, you lash out at every
in fact,
you just raise children, you
in
realize
that
children, as little as they may be, 4, 5, 6, you see them lashing out on people, jumping at issues, talking out of aggression and all that. And you're wondering, this is just a little boy of 5 or little girl of 5.
I think what parents should actually understand is that there are a lot of behavioral patterns that are transmitted from parents to children,
Many of
and it is up to parents to also sit down and also outline some of these behavioral patterns and behaviors and attitude that are negative, and set them aside such that we can create, the right environment. Right now, before we proceed, I would like us to go on a short break. And when we go on the short break, we'll be back, and then we'll go a little further on this discussion. Please stay right there with us.
EST.
All right, welcome back to Edu Solution with Aaron Ikpe. We have been actually talking about parenting, creating the right atmosphere for children to thrive and for children to learn. And my special guest, Vivian Ani, has actually, enlightened us on the strategies that we need to employ to create a healthy learning environment at home. Now, to wrap up this particular episode, I would like our guest here, Ms. Vivian, to actually tell us what are those values we need to intentionally create at home. I know there are a lot of values from our experience and those things that are actually the foundation children should actually have at home. What are those values, and how do we make sure those values we'll make them like a foundation in the home?
Yeah.
Maybe we could just wrap up with that.
I have a program I run in the academy where the first thing we do is to create our family values.
Good.
And get it where children will always say it. Now, the most critical areas of life that you need to create values around them is relationship, spirituality,
okay,
intellectual development and learning,
moral values, yes, as well, okay,
and learning. Their skills also comes in, because if they don't get values around their skills, for
yes,
instance, emotional intelligence is a skill, self-regulation is a skill,
good,
self-leadership is a skill,
good.
And if children do not understand how to lead themselves, you will raise children
despite their skills, they can't actually put them together, yes, to be productive,
yes,
to themselves.
Productive,
wow,
yes, because
wow,
they can't really think without
yes,
you. You keep giving instructions.
So values like
command.
honesty.
Now, honesty, for instance,
okay,
let's take honesty for instance. Your child have just heard you saying, "Oh, honesty is part of our value.
Yes.
Oh, in this home we are we are people of integrity,
yes,
this and that and all of that." And your child just saw or heard you, someone is asking of you, for instance, and
maybe on a phone call,
and you just lied, and you tell the child tomorrow, and we don't lie. The child will be laughing at you.
Exactly.
And if they are vocal people like my children,
they will
remind yourself that
you are on phone call telling somebody you are at so place, whereas you're at home.
Good. Children understand a lot of. We are the ones underrating them.
Wow.
They understand a lot of things, honestly.
Wow. Now, to actually wrap this up, I know a healthy environment can translate to students' learning and performance, wow, at school. Wow. Sometimes we complain of students coming home with poor results, poor grades, and all of that, and then we forget the role we ought to play as parents at home. So I'm thinking that all of this that you have said can actually contribute to students' learning, yeah, performance. So what do you have to say about that?
Yeah. When it comes to learning, children should be taught to develop love for learning.
Okay.
And this comes from how we stimulate the home.
Wow.
In a chaotic home, for instance, in the morning the child is getting ready from school and you're shouting here and there, "Where did you keep your bag? Mm-hmm. Where did you?" Because there's no structure. There's no system in that home that tells the children,
wow,
your bag should be here. And even when you get in and you see that this bag is here, you just talk, who owns this bag? Come and remove it, this and that, and that ends it.
No specific instruction or plan.
Consequence that a child knows that follows for any child that didn't follow suit.
Wow.
And in the morning you get agitated, you're screaming, especially mothers, you're shouting, "Where is this? Where is that?" And you pop up the children in that chaotic situation.
Yeah.
Now a child who has been drained emotionally, maybe have cried before even leaving for school, or is angry, will never be emotionally stable in class.
Wow.
They will lose focus.
They will.
They won't be able to concentrate.
Yes.
You know.
Because their mind keep flashing back.
Yes.
What did I do wrong? What happened? Why did mom say this?
Fact,
Why did dad say this?
The first thing to tell is that you made me angry.
Yes.
So they won't forget. All through the day they've been in school, but they won't forget. You know.
Wow.
So it's something that effective learning, or let me even say academic success, is actually a reward, so to say.
Yes,
that
a reward
comes from intentional structured home.
Yes.
Because academics on itself is not really the learning. The learning is holistic. The learning involves everything intellectual. So it's not something that you just do XYZ and the child will start learning. No. There must be, stimulants that helps the child
to learning. Wow. This is really, really interesting to know. Yeah, on the last note, I would like Vivian to actually talk to our parents. What would be a word of advice, briefly, before we wrap this program up? What would be a word of advice to our parents out there?
Okay, my advice would be that we should stop this I am the parent thing. I know this is my child, I know what to do and all of that. Parents should get on learning. They should, every parent should have it. See, you can't afford to wig it in this time. You can't afford to wig it in this age and time, in this digital era where we're raising digital natives. Our parents didn't really have, many things that fought with them. Yes. So they were able to do many of the things they did and got out of it because they didn't really have things that could fight them. Today, the challenge is different. Yes. We are living in digital era and raising digital nomads. The children we have today are the real people for the digital. A 2 months old baby, 3 months old baby, 5 months is already dragging the phone.
Need to consistently
so
learn.
If you are not on the pedestal of learning, you're going to make a mess of your children. You will be a disadvantage to them.
So taking it from there, we can see that it is advisable for parents to actually sit up in this generation because we have digital children, we have so much information flying here and there. It is very important that parents should actually sit up, study, read, ask questions, interact to see the best strategy to actually adopt in training and creating the right environment for their works. And as they do that, it will also translate to the level of performance of their children in school. Thank you so much for staying with us, and thank you so much for having honored our invitation to be part of AD Solution today. We are so excited. You can also reach AD Solution on our various platforms, and we'll be glad to get back to you. Thank you so much for having us. Have a nice day.
TSTV, connecting your world.